Hello and welcome to the Cottage at Woodland Corners. Today we're making Southwest chicken pizza. So today I want to talk about a recipe that I am very proud of, which is the Southwest chicken pizza. And the reason that I actually have this recipe is because there used to be a restaurant near where we lived. In fact, there were a couple of them. It was a small chain that I think is a regional chain, or it was a regional chain. It shut down because it didn't really survive the whole COVID impact on the economy. So this place was an Italian restaurant. It was called the Brick Oven. And to be honest with you, it wasn't a really great Italian restaurant. It was actually more of a kind of Americana Italian restaurant. And I remember one time ordering the Caesar salad, and I was kind of shocked because they didn't have Caesar dressing on it. And at that point, you're just eating a plate of romaine lettuce with whatever dressing is on it. I just don't know how that's even a Caesar salad, but that's what they labeled it. And I just remember never ordering it again. They did really big calzones that were, very run of the mill, nothing really spectacular. Not that it was a bad restaurant. And then they did have really good brick ovens in the back that had this phenomenal smell and this phenomenal flavor. Their pizza crusts were really great. And they did this pizza called the Southwest chicken pizza. And every time we went there, that's all we ordered. Like, we found that on the menu and then we just stuck with it. And we would take people there and we would order this. It was kind of the place where you would go that is sort of not super high end, but still nice. And this dish was delicious. And so you could go and have a fun time and a nice atmosphere and chat and just hang out and have a bottle of wine. And it was just very relaxing and very sort of middle of the road, but still great fare if you ordered the right things on the menu. And the wine list was actually not bad either. So we go there and we're getting these Southwest chicken pizzas and everyone loves it. And then the restaurant shuts down. And then they all shut down in our area. And we were really sad because we saw a lot of restaurants shut down over the years here in Austin, Texas. And some of them, like the City Grill, were super favorites of ours. And the other ones that shut down that were kind of sad were Threadgill's, which was just an Austin institution. We were really sad to see it go. It winnowed down to, I think, one location and then finally just completely went out of business. So we've seen a lot of places go and not many come. The ones that are coming in are not unique to Austin. A lot of them are chains. And so it's very sad to see the flavor of the city kind of dwindling as it was. And then, of course, COVID just really ramped that up. So when this place went down, the devastation was that we'll never have the Southwest chicken pizza again, because it wasn't just like a good pizza. This was a super unique pizza. And I remember going online and I went to their website before they took the website down. So after they closed, you have like a contract for your website, and then your website is still online for a little while until it finally is taken down. So while the website was still up, I went on and I looked up the Southwest chicken pizza to see what the ingredients were on the pizza. Like, what did they top it with? And this is actually kind of a funny story. Some people I've shared this with find the same humor in it that I do. And some of the people that I share it with tend to sort of, I guess, lean toward my roommate. But I found it really funny. We were looking at the website and I said, okay, so here's the ingredients, right? It's got on it chicken and cilantro and Romano cheese. And I'm going down the list, and we had a friend over. And so my roommate and the friend are talking, and my roommate says, oh, they have the recipe online. And I said, well, they have their menu online. And he says, well, but why would they tell everybody what's in it? Like, why would they give away the recipe? And I said, well, it's the menu. And our guest said something else about, well, now that they're going out of business, Maybe it's so they feel like it's okay to just give away the recipe. And I'm like, it's not a recipe. It's the menu. When you order a pizza off a menu, they have to tell you what's on it. Otherwise, you don't know what you're ordering. So it's not, I guess technically it is a recipe because they're telling you the ingredients that go on the pizza. But at the same time, you're not really giving away the recipe. You're just showing on your menu what someone's going to eat when they order. And someone else, one of the two of them was like, oh yeah, because they'd have to say what's in it in case someone's allergic. How would you know if it even sounds appealing to you if you can't see what's on the pizza? Like if they tell you a pepperoni pizza with, red sauce and mozzarella, it's like you can have an idea of what that's going to taste like and whether or not you're going to like it. So to me, it was kind of hilarious that they were trying to come up with a justification for why this recipe would be online, even as I'm telling them. It was just funny. I mean, even if you go to a fast food pizza place like Domino's, like a chain, you still go in and you click what you want on it. What kind of sauce, what kind of topping. They're not giving away some sort of proprietary recipe. You're just making the pizza. So I found that really funny that they were trying to figure out why the recipe would be online. Even after I was explaining to them, it's just about pizza toppings. Well, it turns out that this particular pizza is what's called a white pizza. And what that means is that there's no sauce on this thing. So it's a sauceless crust that just has toppings. And it's really delicious. I think for some folks, if you've never had one of these, you might be thinking, how can this be tasty? Wouldn't it be dry and cardboard? And no, it's delicious. So I wanted to go ahead and show you because I made the pizza based on what I found online, and it came out phenomenally well. But one of the issues with this particular pizza is that if you don't make it with a pizza stone, you don't really get the crust that they had coming out of that brick oven. You won't get that sort of smoky, really cooked flavor with the bubbles and the burny, high spots. And so that was a problem for me in the past because I was taught to make pizza crust by my mother, who was Italian. And the crust, in my opinion, I never liked it. People loved her pizzas, but I always thought they were not that great. And one of the reasons I didn't like them was because the crusts on them were just kind of too hard and too bland for me. And I went through a lot of research and a lot of testing to try different crusts and try different recipes, and looked up one Neapolitan recipe that took like days to make, and none of these crusts were ever turning out how I wanted it. None of them gave me that flavor that I was looking for and that texture that I was looking for and that crispiness with, those bubbles and just that lovely sort of, old world flavor crust, that style that I loved. And then one day I was at someone's house and they had a pizza stone and we made pizza on that pizza stone. And suddenly I realized the problem was not the recipe for the crust. The problem was that I wasn't cooking on a pizza stone or on a hot enough surface to make this crust happen. I went out and bought myself a pizza stone. And as soon as I cooked a pizza on it, it was just like, I'm never going back. Now, I don't always make a pizza with the stone. So I guess technically I do go back sometimes, but only because it's easier to not use the stone. The whole concept of the pizza stone is to get a cooking surface that is super hot underneath so that you end up with like this really interesting baking experience that is different than when you use a pizza pan. The good thing about a pizza pan is you just preheat the oven for, a couple of minutes, like 10 minutes, and then you put your dough, you roll your dough out, you put it on the pizza pan, you throw it in the oven, and, in 15 minutes at 425, you're done and you've got your pizza. But with the pizza stone, you have to preheat it for a while. So you can preheat it and get away with it for 30 minutes or so. But I try to give it more like an hour, and you turn the oven way up to like 450 or 500 and you just leave that thing in there just getting super hot. And that's what you're cooking on. So you put that pizza on there and it just starts to bake on the bottom as soon as you're putting it on there. And it just comes out like it's just night and day. It's a world of difference. When I make a pizza on a pizza pan, people still enjoy it. Like I still get compliments and people are still like, oh, this tastes so good. You know, it's a really good pizza. Nice to have a homemade pizza. But nothing is like the pizza stones. And I want to say, you know, I'm sure that there are some people who don't prefer that, but it's hard for me to imagine it because to me, it's just like worlds beyond any other crust when you cook with that stone. So I decided to do an episode where I show you the pizza pan and making the same pizza on a pizza pan, and then making that Southwest chicken pizza, same pizza on the stone, and what the process is for that. I'm going to be honest, I am not the best pizza stone cook. I can do it, but I have to really focus because there are some people that I watch and they just do it and it's almost like they were, you know, it's like breathing to them. They just can do it. And for me, I struggle, for example, with getting the pizza off the pizza peel onto the stone. Like I have to use little tricks in order to make it work. And then I have to still be super careful. And I have had accidents where I have dropped these things into just a complete mess. I've at least gotten to where I can pretty much do it right as long as I take my time with it. But I'm not the pro. So if you are looking for a video that has an instructional, you know, lessons on how to do the pizza peels and what pizza peels to buy. And believe me, I have looked and researched and I ended up with a wooden one. You're going to see it. It's huge because I like to make big pizzas. But I also probably should get myself a metal one, and I want to get a metal one, but there's so many different varieties and different people like different ones for different reasons. And sticking to that peel is always an issue. And I mentioned in a prior episode, I don't remember exactly which one, that I don't keep cornmeal in the house except in small quantities because I use it to coat the pizza peel so that it helps the dough slide off the peel onto the stone. In my experience, I get one shot at it, and if I don't get it right, I'm going to have a mangled pizza. So it's a little intimidating to me still. I'm still learning it, and I don't do it enough to where I've got it down like the pros. So I encourage you to watch some of the videos for people that are really good at it because it's phenomenal to just see how they do that. But I'm barely passable, but once I get it on there, it's done and it's good and it works. But you'll see that I struggle a little bit, or maybe you won't. I don't know how I haven't edited it yet, so I'm not sure how it will look, but I'll be honest with you that it is for me a task to get the pizza made on the peel and then slide it onto the stone. Once it's done though, it's good. The only other thing I want to say is that I often use like a wheat flour. But when I do the Southwest chicken pizza on the pizza stone, the whiter, lighter flours are actually ones that work best. They puff up a lot better than the heavy wheat flours. So if you're into wheat flour and you want to try this and you want to do the pizza stone, I would say you can use your wheat flour if you want to and just see how it comes out. But if you're struggling with the wheat flour, try a whiter flour or even a mix of the two might be useful to you. About the only other thing I would add about this pizza recipe is that it uses a lot of cilantro that is added at the end. It is not baked into the pizza. It's topped onto the pizza after you pull it out of the oven. And some folks don't like cilantro. It's a very polarizing herb. Some people despise it, say it tastes like soap. And other folks love it on everything. I'm one of those folks that loves it, so pile on the cilantro and I'm there. But if you hate cilantro, you could probably use parsley. I think that would be a pretty decent substitute for this particular recipe. But you don't have to put, obviously, the cilantro on there. It'll work either way, but it is definitely an herb that goes with the Southwest flavor of the pizza. And with that, let's get cooking. Thanks so much for joining me today and watching my recipe for Southwest chicken pizza. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you decide to try it, drop me a line in comments and let me know how it came out, or if you have ideas on it, that would be great too. I'd love to hear it. So like and subscribe if you'd love to see more of this content, and have a great day.